Welcome back to another exciting and invigorating episode of The Middle-Aged Minecrafter. I'm just kidding, it's not going to be exciting or invigorating at all. But we are going to pick up where we left off at minus 514-101. And I said we were going to start going over my various rail lines. You can see I've attempted to start to make up some signs denoting what towns are on the various rail lines. The green line was basically constructed to string along all of the different towns that we explored in our early days by boat. Of course, I've taken to trying to give all of them names. This was probably the most advanced rail line that I have. Still needs a little more tweaking here and there. But for various reasons, I've moved on to other things, and it's gotten out of control. The red line goes to the south dock. It's as simple as that. The black line goes to our bedrock mine, which is spooky. Nice touch. The bedrock mine is a major methodical dig and resource harvesting project, and we'll go there in probably the next episode. The gray line is sort of founding connected infrastructure and goes to something I call a switch house and the Grand Bavaria Station, which is by a town that we call Bavaria. There's also a South Terracotta line and a blue line, which goes to the North Dock. And that's where we're basically going to start today. Real quick, we're going to run up this gray line to get a little bit of a view of the layout of the land that we have established our base here. Now this rail line you see before you goes on for hundreds and hundreds of blocks in a straight line like this at level 86 where I'm standing. So here is the blue dock. This is a canal I've tried to refine, and what we would do in the early days is we would leave our base and go out adventuring and use a boat and followed the sort of natural river path out into the northeastern yonder in search of glory and treasure. And we did that a lot before we had all of these rails. But this was basically more or less constructed before that, but it didn't have rail on it. We knew that would probably rail this at some time, or at least hoped to. This is vintage interstate, shall we say. If you look over here, this is a tree farm, which we used to farm trees, basically. All right, so now that we've kind of seen it from this point, we will go down here and explore. Basically, the reason this goes so many thousands of blocks off in that direction comes down to the one of the early times I fell off this building and then got lost for several days. And roughly what happened was I was looking for desert, and I think I found a huge desert, and I ran through it forever. I ended up way, way over here. And so what ultimately I decided to do was start building a walkway high up in the sky like this so that I could see for great distances and try to find where home was. This was long before I turned on the coordinates. And it's, for some reason I didn't turn on the coordinates for a long time, but I built this walkway stubbornly for thousands of blocks to the south it still all exists to this day, of course. It's not fully railed out, but now the rail does go way, way down into some interesting territories that I've discovered. But I finally decided to turn around and come back this way, and finally figured out how to get back here and made this rail straight to the area. All right. I should have finished that story while running. See, I haven't even finished my roof yet. I need to finish making the sandstone slate. All right, so we're going to jump in this minecart to go down the blue line. A short little line, but it takes us to the tree farm real conveniently. So take the little train over to the tree farm, harvest trees to your heart's content, bring them all back in a load real quick on the rail, back and forth multiple times. And this was also kind of a nice way to get to the water point and launch off on our boat. So we use this quite a few times. Don't have any boats down here right now, but swimming is really just as fast, especially if you have depth strider boots on. So because we were doing it very unfamiliar, hardcore, we don't have any coordinates and barely understand Minecraft sort of way, we attempted to leave breadcrumbs of sorts for the path involving jack-o'-lanterns and orange terracotta blocks with torches on them. Stuff that could be seen at night. And we did all this traversing to just find a village. We had to go what seemed like forever. You have to second guess if you pick the right direction. See, there's some of my markers. Some places the markers are really good, and other places the markers are sketchy. And since I haven't really gone through here like this in a couple of years, I'm not very familiar anymore, because we did it, this was so routine. We did find the villages we were seeking, and we'll come across them eventually. Here is I like the one I did the archways of the jack-o'-lanterns. Very useful at night or daytime. You can see them quite easily. Here I just sort of started making man-made canals to make the route more direct. Here's like a overbuilt sort of gate entryway for ease of finding it from great distances and whatnot. This is a canal I built to you ride your boat up into the inland, and it goes somewhere that I will show and explore and explain later. So, let's see. We are basically 1,000 blocks east from the home base already. And man, it was hard to come across a village. But we finally did, and we're getting really close. Now, of course, I use signs for things, but before I figured out the signs, I would my own road markers out of these pumpkins and silly little experiments like that. Obviously, we have an arrow trying to direct you this way, and this C stands for Cairo, which is what we named the first town that we found. And then so the river goes that way, and the river goes this way. If you go this way, this leads you to a town that had people on it, and it was sort of an island, and so we very cleverly called it the Isle of Man, and actually was able to trade with people there for the first time. And I think it's a special type of biome outfit they have. But the reason we called this town Cairo is because it's sort of a rude joke, but there's a near abandoned town in southern Illinois called Cairo, Illinois. And we thought it was fitting for this one because the first town we find is abandoned. See, it's properly abandoned with cobwebs. I found a number of towns that seem to be in perfectly good order and functioning, but they don't have anybody in them. So they're not quite abandoned, but there's no one in them. Whereas this is obviously intended and designed to be abandoned. And there's some more desert there. You can see why a rookie, middle-aged Minecrafter could get confused and disoriented and lost and run the long way. Run the wrong way. For great distances, like an idiot. I started taking some of the houses apart for resources, but only did one or two because I kind of want to keep the historical aesthetic of it. This might be why the town's abandoned. All the villagers probably fell in here and died, and that's why there's no one here anymore. It's amazing how many times village spawns besides a gorge of death like that. And the game froze me and turned me around, and if I spazzed out, I might have fallen in there myself. Anyways, isn't that nifty? So, this is what we did many times, except we didn't really come here that much. We would just sail on through over to the Isle of Man. Now, it's still quite a bit farther away. And since then, I have a direct rail line that takes you straight to the Isle of Man with its own train station and everything. So we will be able to easily visit it in the future, and I will just leave it up to your imagination as to how much farther this swimming route goes on. There's some pumpkins to tell you you're going the right way. And it kind of starts to get out to be in the open seas. Look, there's an archway way off there. And I assure you, it goes on and on and on. But since I don't want to ever break the geographical continuity, we had better start heading back, because I don't want this episode to be unnecessarily too long. In the meantime, we're just going to swim our way back, and just so you know, when I'm doing the traveling primarily on rails, traveling won't really be like this very much in the future. If I'm going down a rail line that I've gone down before at least once in real time, future travelings down the same section will be sped up, because you only need to know the reference and super fast GPS numbers are still there. It'll be a nice, easy way to have it both ways. Well, the dolphins just love me. Anyways, have I mentioned how great it is playing in the peaceful mode? Because you never have to worry about monsters, and you never have to worry about sleeping for 3 days. Or every 3 days. I hope you're nicely settled in now, because this is pretty much all this channel's going to be. I don't know if it'll be any more interesting in the future, but here it is. It's unlikely we're ever going to come through here again, but somewhere around here I made an amusing sign for myself. I don't know why. I think it's funny to write silly things in case I ever go there again. Got kind of close to 0-0 again. It's just 117 blocks away where all this was built. Where we started the first chapter. Here's some more background story over here. Go off course for a minute. You can see the remnants and ruins. Pretty sure that's what I'm looking at here. Might be that thing down there. But anyways, over here somewhere was one of the classic sandstone structures that, has the 4 chests and the pressure plate and the bomb. And, when you're an idiot rookie, you step on it, you blow yourself up. Yeah, totally fell for that once. I was so mad at it, I completely destroyed the building as much as I could. I've since found other ones and figured them out and rescued the treasure without dying, but it got me the first time. Hopefully there's not too much shame in that. Obviously I thought this was a neat place to play around. What am I doing here? Building some sort of man-made mine in the middle of water. That won't cause any problems. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Mining around water is always much more fun. This dock could be better, huh? Alright. Let's jump back in the minecart. And we'll take a quick pit stop by the tree farm. I was trying to use this mossy cobblestone because I don't know, for some reason I feel like things like that, like villager, town meeting squares, I feel like I heard that somewhere. But I just made it anyway just in case. Lots of torches try to help things grow. Of course, now I have been able to turn bone meal into a plentiful commodity. So I can grow all the trees I want, but what I find the most effective bang for your buck harvesting tree thing that, well, I found so far anyway. There's a couple of new things I have learned recently I need to try. But basically, I think they're up to 10 kinds of tree now. There was only 6. And spruce was the first one I ever ran into. So everything besides spruce kind of became exotic. And if you have dark oak trees, it requires 4 saplings in a grid like this, or it won't grow at all. It took me a while to figure that out. You don't need to do that with these spruce trees, but if you do, you get these nice, solid, sometimes extraordinarily tall, 100 block producing mega trees that are quick and easy to cut. So that's my middle-aged Minecrafter top tip. It's a really lame tip, I'm sure. In a world of magic nether spells and all that stuff, I'm telling you how to make more efficient trees. This channel's gonna be so dull. But hey, it's my world. I made it. I just want someone else to look at it. Alright, wasn't that fun? The blue line, exciting. Let's do the red line. It won't take as long to do the red line, I promise. Because, watch this. That's what we're gonna do. The red line is a touch longer, but it goes to the south dock. And it was the same idea. It was a body of water south of this property that we found, and this little line makes quick work of taking you straight to the water's edge. And of course I built little boat slips and whatnot so that you could go off boating, adventuring to the south, which we did for a good 1,700 blocks, and found a couple of villages down there. So we were trading with them and taking this route quite a few times to just trade and make money and things like that. Coming up here is one of my favorite little innovations, and that is the glass underwater tunnel. I like making those. And I just said innovation. I didn't say original innovation. I realized there's 1.5 million more experienced, smarter, better Minecraft players than me. I will never forget that. You don't need to point it out. Anyways, what do you think? This is a fancy spiffy. It's like I spent money on this one, huh? But there you go. We would get in our boats and sail off into yonder, avoiding many dangers. It's kind of funny how you can have certain places in this game, and the game remembers them for years at a time, and you played several hours in this area looking at this particular scenery, and then you move on and you play other places and explore new things, and you revisit these things, and there's some more of that stupid nostalgia with it. Well, how does that make any sense? Okay. Well, I think, did I show you guys my trash can? I don't feel like I did. This is going to be kind of a major adventure. This was not a insignificant adventure, but this is going to be a big deal. This is the Black Line, and this is a tunnel made of obsidian so that you plunge into the darkness. I powered the power rails with switches, which would clunk you in the head as you went down and give you concussion, but they don't cause any light. If I was serious about it, I would take out this smooth stone and put more black concrete or obsidian in there to make it even darker, because even that stone is lighting it up. But what I'm thinking of doing is maybe we will just go to the bedrock mine. I'll show you that first. And then we'll just stop the episode there. And we will not continue on the black line. We're just going to go down here. It just seems rude to break it here, even though you can click on it immediately and find out what happens. But I wanted this all dark and spooky because you get to the bottom and you round the corner and you're in a tunnel of lava. It's not easy to build a tunnel of lava, let me tell you. But I think it's a pretty cool, silly thing to do. All right, welcome to the bedrock mine. And yes, it is, it's pretty big. I don't know, have you seen bigger ones? Probably. But I thought this was a little over the top. It's 200 blocks in each wall is 200 blocks long, and the yellow is up there on level 16. This was all hollowed out before they changed the bedrock, limitation. Now you can go to like -64. Whereas this was the bottom. This was the bottom of the world at the time I hollowed all of this out. And it was full of lava, and I took a lot of that lava, as you can see, and built these nice lava lamps for lots of free light to save on torches and to feel all studly, and that I conquered the lava, which terrified and killed me so many times. These earlier ones are all nicely enclosed in glass, which is pretty cool. And then you can see the later models, which started using less and less glass because, the bigwigs up at the top of corporate started cutting costs and started slashing budgets. And now it's more of a dangerous lamp you can hurt yourself on, but whatever gives you more dollars. So there's a lot less glass in these, just enough to keep it there. Do you like my social commentary? Should I knock that off? There's always llamas around for some reason. I don't totally know why. And you can see I'm not done with this either, but I'm really close. Look at that. Cannot tell you how much smooth stone I have processed, and all this stuff is double burned. Only recently did I become clever enough to mine my stone with a silk touch axe so it stays stone, which would save me 50% coal that I burned burning all of this into smooth stone. But the smooth stone was really a byproduct. That's why I have so much of it, and I have all kinds of chests throughout the world that have loads of smooth stone. I'm always finding it in all kinds of places. But I like it, and it's really nice. I've built buildings and structures out of it. Grand Bavaria Station is built out of this. It's not very I guess it does sort of look like a Soviet building block, but I like it. It's clean, and it's plentiful, and you just keep burning it for the experience of it. I got bored with this idea, and this rail line does continue on for a couple thousand blocks, I'm sure, at least. But this silly ambitious plan, because I think we're pretty much in a mountain at this point. . This was level 19, and I like to make glass floors so I can see through different levels. It looks like a parking garage. Look, I managed to get all of this cut out too. And then the idea was you get this all leveled out, and then you carve as high as you can in a straight line. And it's about 5 blocks. If you, run up here a little bit, you'll get to this level. Oh no, I lost the course. Well, level 26 is one of them. Oh, this is my old way out. Boy, that was a vintage flashback from good old times. That's obsidian, and you can't jump around it. I'm not going to break anything up to go around it, so we're just going to go back the way we came. But there was going to be a blue level, and I guess a purple level, all with their corresponding glass, and hopefully they would get smaller and narrower and require less work to hollow out. But I'm still 19, which is, 40 below sea level or whatnot. So it would have been, there's still a long way to go. I thought it would be cool to have a hollowed out mountain, and I still may hollow this thing out completely one day, just for the conquest and adventure of it. You can see I have more of those inefficient ovens, where I just have loads and loads of them. Sometimes you can pilfer coal supplies if you need them. Oh look, smooth stone. Surprise. Oh look, here's one more chest full of smooth stone. See, I can build whatever I want out of smooth stone. I have so much of it. And now I can burn it twice. I can create it twice as fast. Golly, look at all of that redstone. Man, I just have blocks of diamonds lying around in places I forgot. That's pretty obnoxious. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break the chapter here from 2 to 3 and take the black line up to Winterfell, where we will see some more monuments and landmarks of interesting history. You will get to see the first standardized railway station, which even that has an asterisk on it, but I'll explain that in the next episode. And we'll go ahead and break it off here at -396 -66. Till then.